content. Shilling. What's wrong with Brie Larson now? The fandom is broken once again. These shills, grifters, and nils have ruined everything. Now it falls to me to assemble a crew to fix this broken fandom. Computer, find me a video games expert.
Name Mr. Green Expertise Video Games, codename The Great Daitokuji.
I need an anime expert.
Name Mr. Blue Expertise Anime and Comic Books, codename Kenshiro.
I need a movies and collectibles expert.
Name Mr. Black Expertise Collectibles and Movies, codename GQ.
So yeah, it's going to be a great episode today. We've got Megatron from RoboSyn, and it's going to be a good unboxing too.
Finally, I need an operator.
Name Mr. Red Expertise Wrestling and Comic Books, codename Simon Says.
The team is complete. Computer, assemble the Culture Junkies live crew. What's up to everyone out there? We are definitely checking in at 9 Eastern right now for Culture Junkies Live. I'm GQ, joined today by the great Daitokuji. As you can see, the couch is a little bit empty. Kenshiro is not here, and Simon Says is also not here. But we got a very willing producer over there, you know, kind of hopefully running things. Hopefully he's not going to fall asleep while we're out here today. I'm going to talk about a couple of different things. Beau DeMayo, who is the former showrunner for X-Men 97, is at it again, giving his side of the story, essentially. What is it? State of Play was today.
State of Play did happen.
Yeah, State of Play happened today. Not going to get into that one too much because, unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to watch it. I mean,
4 hours long.
Yeah, 4 hours long. It started, I think, at 5 o'clock our time.
Something like that.
Somewhere in that range. So, I mean,
Yeah,
that basically would run right into the show, essentially. And also, you know, just going to sit here and just talk and enjoy things. You guys that are going to join the chat, you can obviously, you know, give us your ideas, things that you would like to talk about, and we'll bring up, you know, a lot of different things. Of course, this Friday is Valentine's Day, but also marks the release of Captain America: Brave New World, which has been a long time coming.
Yeah, it definitely has, and I look forward to seeing it, as I do look forward to all the movies, but I don't know, it just feels like the excitement of Marvel movies, at least for me, because we used to be there midnight on as soon as it dropped, which would be what, tomorrow or something like that?
Yeah, usually Thursdays.
And now we're like, we can wait.
I think. Well, hold on now. That's not necessarily true because Deadpool Wolverine, we were there first available showing.
That is also true.
So, because I think we saw that at like 7 o'clock on Thursday or something like that the day before. Yeah. So I think it varies and it depends. And also a little bit, you know, lack of theater, needing to go to the theater, really.
Well, you know that for me, because like, I don't like to say I fell out of love with the theater. It's just having the drive. Because I used to like going to the theater that was close to here. Yeah, was it 20 some odd years old when it closed? Yeah, did the seats not recline? Yeah, did they not have assigned seating? they didn't have any of that stuff. But what they did have is nobody else showed up there because everybody wanted to go to the good movie theaters. And I want to say what's up to other Steve because he's definitely in there. What's going on,
Steve? Appreciate you checking in, man.
But and when that one closed down, it kind of for me was just like meh, because like. Now I got to drive super duper. Well, I won't say super duper far. I have to go farther than I really want to the biggest, second biggest now, screen here in this state. And there are closer movie theaters, most definitely, but they're heavily populated. And I've just gotten to the point where I'm just like, I don't want to be around people when I'm going to watch a movie because it's just. Like the last we went, and it was this small theater too, and it was we went to go see Sonic 4, and like 5 people couldn't find their seats after the movie already started. In there with the freaking lights and stuff.
Yep.
Another person, you're sitting in my seat, not us. They weren't talking to us. We went to what I thought was a late enough show, but it was still people bringing their kids up in there, and like I'm like, now granted, it's Sonic 3, but.
Well, the crazy thing is, what we ran into was a birthday party. It was a birthday party. Like it was because we got there, reasonable time as most people do when you got your assigned seating and whatnot. So we get there and then we're sitting there and like Dr. Kuji said, oh, I can't find my seat. Oh, you're in my seat. This and that. The usual thing because I think there was theater hoppers. I think it was clearly some theater hoppers in there. But then, right as the movie was about to start, this little small wave of kids comes in. It's like there was a birthday party. It had to be. But it's so weird. Like you said, it was a late enough show where you're just like, y'all, why are y'all still here?
Yeah, I mean, you go home, go to bed. I don't know. Kids nowadays, I find out they don't. I don't think they're made to go to bed like we were.
Probably not.
Because like just some of the people that I work with, and then when I find out they're kids, I was like, oh, you tell them to go to bed, and then they're up late still. And these are not kids. They're like now they're preteens and teenagers. But I just remember some of them they were talking about they'd be up late and then get up and I can't sleep and go in mama and dad's room. I'm like, what the heck is going on? When I was a kid, you didn't. First off, parents don't lie to their kids. That's first off. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, yes, there are parents that lie to their kids a lot. What I mean by that is there was the boogeyman, there was the thing underneath the bed, there's something in your closet. Either that was a kid's imagination or parents are lying to you because I didn't get the hell out of my bed to go bother my parents. It didn't happen. And I don't think that happens too often where kids get lied to the point where they just don't do things because they think something's out there to get them.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it was that day because it was a lot of young kids up in there. And, I mean, I expected kids to be in a movie for Sonic. I didn't expect them to be for that time frame.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons why I like being here at my house. And unfortunately, like today when I was sitting watching movies, I made an error. I didn't technically spend any of my money as money that Google gave me, but I rented a movie that was on Netflix.
Oh man!
And so I have
already
Netflix.
Had access to it.
Yes, but
wow.
I use an app to see because like you don't know where anything's streaming. Mm-hmm. I put the gosh darn thing in there, and it didn't say it was streaming anywhere. It said just rent it. And I'm like, oh okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even think to look anywhere else because typically it would say, it's streaming here and then more choices.
Right.
It didn't give me that option. It just said rent for, $4.99. So I was like, whatever. But again, I get money from Google for doing surveys. So
it didn't cost you anything, but at the same time, you didn't have to necessarily spend that money. I got you. It does suck. So, I mean, obviously, I'm not looking at any reviews. There's some early reviews out now. I guess the review embargo is lifted today, as of today. Mm-hmm. I'm going to see it for myself. People have been poo-pooing this movie since it was announced. I'm going to go see it for myself. I want to sit in there, enjoy it, or dislike it, whatever it's going to be. I don't want to hear anybody else's early opinions about it because it's like...
I already unfortunately got something like that because I was scrolling on Facebook and IGN put up, this is our review. This is a score we give. And I'm like, man, I didn't even need to see that. I don't care about what you call it, but I unfortunately saw what they thought of it. Everybody else is after I watched the movie because I typically don't watch reviews until after the movie because, again, like you said, I don't want to be influenced by, even by the slightest, by their opinions. But, I look forward to seeing that Saturday.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna definitely go check that out. Also on the unboxing front, I did unbox the Captain America. Now it's the one from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it is still obviously Captain America, Sam Wilson. That unboxing actually goes up on Valentine's Day. So if y'all want to check that out, make sure you check that out. That'll be dropping, I think, at 1:45 noon. Basically, I don't like to drop right at noon because everybody else drops at noon.
Yeah, check it out. Pocky 100. IGN has a lot of hot garbage takes anyway. Well, yeah, they do. The most notorious one is for God Hand for the PlayStation 2. And if you know anything about that, it's probably one of the most, I won't say sought after, but reviews that they got extremely wrong. And I guess it kind of steered people to not buy God Hand. I did pick it up, and I don't remember if I think I got it used. I don't think I bought it new.
Okay.
And it's not nowhere near as bad as what they said it was. So yeah, I get that they would say some bull crap like that, but I just wish I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's still tainting my friggin', at all. I was just like, gosh, I don't want to see that at all. Cause like, I don't know. I watch one trailer. When they keep dropping trailers, especially nowadays. Back in the day, I love watching. Back in the day, I would go to Apple trailers all the time to look at all the freaking trailers that would come out because I used to love watching trailers. But the art of trailering is lost, in my opinion, because they just they're telling the movie. Like for this one, we shouldn't even known that General or President Ross is Red Hulk. Yeah, if you know anything about comics, you know who he is.
Right.
That's fine. But they shouldn't have put that in the movie. In the trailer.
No, they literally had a trailer where they basically had Red Hulk catch the shield and throw it to the ground.
Yeah.
That should have been all that you saw of him. You should have seen nothing else of him. Like you said, no clues as to who it's going to be, any of that. It should have just been get your butts to the theaters and sit down and watch it, and that's how you'll discover everything.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that they keep doing stuff like that. So I watched one trailer, and on my ride home is when I put the reviews on because I just want to see what they say if it matches up with anything that I watch.
Yeah.
And for the most part, it does seem like the reviewers that I watch, they clearly have somewhat of the same opinions, but not necessarily all the time. It's very rare I see something like that I liked and they didn't like it. But it does happen.
It's funny that you took it all the way back to the Apple trailers, man. That's like what 20 some odd years ago.
Yeah.
Like, and that was the way you basically saw a lot of the trailers. Like for whatever reason, like I guess all the companies are sending their trailers to QuickTime.com, basically, or Apple. Of
whatever
course.
the heck the website was. I was there almost. I wouldn't say every day. I had when I got on the computer, I had certain websites I would hit up all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just, that's just what I did.
I think what it was for at least for the time period, QuickTime's codec was the best codec as far as getting that really high quality trailer, because that was the main reason you watched on that website. Like those trailers were like pristine, like they looked great. It wasn't like what was the other one? The other format was MPEG video or whatever it was before MP4 became a thing.
Yeah,
MPEG. It was like MPEG video.
Yeah,
or something.
MPEG, and then whatever. I don't remember. QuickTime was just QuickTime, wasn't it?
Yeah, QuickTime is MOV.
Yeah,
QuickTime
MOV.
has always been MOV. So it was AVI. It was like QT was the other short form for QuickTime, but that was their slightly lower quality than the MOV file. But then I remember MPEG video always just looked bad by comparison. At least back
it probably
then.
was not as high quality at all. And the only issue that I think I remember having with .mov files now is that you had to watch them through the QuickTime player.
Oh yeah,
and that's just Apple. You're gonna use our stuff. You gotta use anybody else's stuff. You use our stuff.
I mean, you gotta remember that was the codec wars, though, man. Like that was everybody was trying to have their own individual code. Maybe you had all those different players that you had to download to play certain file tyes.
Till VLC came around.
Yeah,
and VLC kind of
before VLC it was GOM. GOM.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Before VLC came around.
Oh yeah.
Because VLC became popular, and it just all of them under one roof, which helped out a whole bunch. I can't say I've used VLC in forever now.
It is funny how like those programs come and go. Basically, though, it's just like you use something for a very long time. It's like it's basically like your right hand, and the next thing you know, it's just like
yeah.
I haven't even used that in years or whatever.
Mainly because of YouTube. Like I don't even think I look at my computer. I don't go to YouTube on a proper computer. I go to YouTube on my TV, my phone, and I don't even on my tablet much. Usually my tablet is Crunchyroll.
Right.
because I take it to work and I watch my animes.
It is.
Speaking of that.
It is a crazy time we live in, though. Just thinking that we have. Back then, like you said, you had to. If you wanted to see anything good trailer wise, you were in front of your computer. That was it, pretty much. Movies, you were, DVDs, Blu-ray players, or whatever, only on your TV. That was it. Phones was kind of there, but it wasn't nearly.
Not even.
It wasn't
not
even
close.
nearly like what we're talking about now. Because I even remember like on my lunch break sometimes when I was working retail, I would have my actual iPod. My iPod had movies on it.
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like
because
that.
you could do that back
Yeah,
then.
so it was like that was one of the different ways I was watching.
Oh,
But now everything's phones and tablets and whatnot.
Phones and tablets, because they did try to put on like the PSP when that came out. That was going to be like your media player. You're going to have the movies on there. You're going to have your games and your music. You can have it all in one. And like
It wasn't, and the thing is, we both had the PSP, so the PSP was actually not bad in that regard. It's just that proprietary memory card was so annoying, and it was so expensive. It's just like, bro, y'all had it, you were right there, and you just screwed the pooch on that memory card.
That's what happens when they want you to buy their products. Marcus864, hello, salute to you
What's up,
as
sir?
well. As you may see, we're missing some people here because they got their foot stuck in the cement outside their house, and he got trapped, and he's just out there freezing his bum off because nobody's gonna help him. No, they got other stuff going on, so we're just here, shooting the crap, talking about a lot of stuff. But yeah, speaking of things that we like, video games. How many of you guys out there? Because we didn't watch it at all. I mean, I won't say I didn't watch the State of Play at all. I watched individual videos for some games for the State of Play because the State of Play apparently came out. Sony's dropping what's coming up soon. I'm not excited over anything because they didn't show. I mean, they showed the new Shinobi, but that's coming out on all the systems.
Okay.
They showed, of course, Metal Gear Solid, which, love Metal Gear Solid 3. 3 was great.
Yeah.
Me personally, because I owned it for a long time, but I beat it recently. I'm not excited to play through Delta now. I don't need to play through 4 and 5. I don't know how many 5s they got there.
There's 2 different 5s. Well, 5 technically is one game, but they came out with the prologue or whatever as its own separate almost game, and then they came out with the actual Metal Gear 5 Phantom Pain or whatever it was called.
Yeah, I need to play those.
Yeah, Ground Zeroes was the other one. It was Metal Gear 5 Ground Zeroes or whatever.
So that's not exciting. There was no Bloodborne talk. Everybody was speculating Bloodborne because, let's see, Bloodborne came out about 10 years ago, I think.
Oh, wow.
I think it was 2015. It might have been.
Okay.
And people have since put it on PC because, that's what a lot of these people do. And somebody came out with a I don't want to call it a hack, but it allowed the game to be played at 60 frames a second because it's not on the PlayStation 4. And Sony pulled it off. No, gave them a cease and desist, told them get rid of it, blah, blah, which had everybody speculating they're going to do something with Bloodborne soon because why would they tell these people of a game that nobody's buying? And I can't say nobody, but I'm generalizing out there because it's probably like 4 people that just bought Bloodborne right now.
Yeah.
To stop doing the 60 frames a second on your PC or whatever because people thought that maybe they're going to release, a patch or a PlayStation 4 5 remake. Not remake. What do you call those things?
Just a remaster.
There you go.
Yeah, just kind of just do it officially, basically. So, yeah, I got you.
So, but that wasn't there.
Wow.
I was just scrolling through YouTube, seeing all the individual stuff because, they do have, you don't have to sit through that 4-hour crap. You can watch the individual trailers that come out. And the only really thing that piqued for me, my interest. Now, Liza P, I ain't bought it because, if I'm going to buy games, it got to be in my price range unless it's limited run, unfortunately, because if you don't get a limited run game, when you see it, you're probably going to be paying a hell of a lot more for it.
Oh, yeah, aftermarket.
Yeah, so I don't even want to do that. But Liza P looks like it's something I want to play, but that's down the road. But the new Shinobi, I didn't know it was made by the makers of Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, okay.
So that piqued my interest a little bit. It's 2D. It's looks like it plays way better than, of course, all the old 16-bit ones. but it is pulling from some of that stuff because, like, I mean, Shinobi 3, there was levels where you were like on a surfboard or something like that, and they're kind of pulling that back. And
Okay.
I mean, it looks like that one's going to be kind of fun.
Is it treating it almost like a beat 'em up, or is it kind of in a weird in between space?
No, that's not going to be a beat 'em up. It's like the 2D ones, not the ones where you rescue the kids.
Okay.
It's the 2D ones where you're like,
okay, so Revenge of Shinobi.
yeah, like Revenge of Shinobi or
you.
Shinobi 3, Shin Shinobi Den. I always call it that because I think that's what it was. Just Shin Shinobi Den, the Sega Saturn one that had live action.
That thing is worth so much freaking money, bro.
Yeah, I think that was probably I don't buy a lot of games expensive. I think I got that one secondhand and I paid like $60 or $70 for it, and I think it was an auction. And normally I don't do that. It's only, I think that's that game. Might be another one, but most of all the games that I got that are, supposedly rare, and I hate using that word rare because if you can walk into now that one, it would say rare because you don't see that out in the wild.
No,
but I see a lot of stuff
often.
that they call rare out in the wild all the time. I don't consider that rare, but that's probably one of the ones I paid. It's still under $100.
Yeah. And the game itself was fun anyway. I mean, because I had that one for the Saturn. I still have that one for the Saturn. I keep saying had.
They need to come out with a collection, like a true Golden Axe collection with all the Golden Axes that they can. A true Shinobi collection because I don't know. Did they ever get a perfect arcade? The first Shinobi,
the original.
I don't know if they did.
I think it's been on collections before.
Maybe they did. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm almost positive I played an arcade perfect Shinobi that was part of a collection. Now, granted, in the world of emulation, I've been playing arcade perfect Shinobi for a while because that was always one of my favorite games. Looking back, though, I would like to actually have a re-release of that PS2 Shinobi and its sequel.
Oh yeah, that would be dope. Like not even just a re-release. Build it from the ground. Do what they did with Ninja Gaiden Black. Yeah. Two Black.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Something like that, where they build it up from the bottom.
Ninja Gaiden 2 Black actually recently just got an update or a patch, I guess you could call it, where they added New Game Plus, tweaked some difficulty and some other stuff here and there. So they thankfully are adding more to that game. They didn't just like drop it and then be like, okay, literally just drop it like, okay, cash grab, and we're gonna work on the upcoming Ninja Gaiden 4. So thankfully they actually did something with that because I did pick that up and I ordered that one from Play Asia to get the physical copy of it.
Yeah, same thing. I got.
Yeah.
And okay. Typically, I don't care what system I get a game for because it really does not matter for me because I'm not, beholden to any console manufacturers anymore.
Right.
I'm not a teenager, and Sega's long. When it comes to consoles, dead. Not the games, because the games, they're still rocking it. They are, doing some good stuff. But I wanted that for the Xbox because the original Ninja Gaiden came out on Xbox. Yeah. Ninja Gaiden 2 original one came out. Black came out on Xbox. And everybody says that those were the best ones, the Sigma ones. And I unfortunately played Ninja Gaiden because I have Ninja Gaiden original on regular Xbox. I never got Black, which I wish I did because I can play Black on the Series X. Yep. But my playthrough was Sigma for the PlayStation 3, which, was still kind of challenging. But everybody says it's inferior compared to Black and the original one on Xbox. Yeah. So I was hoping that one would come out on X. It's on Xbox. You can buy it, but not physical. The only physical you can get PlayStation 5. Yeah. So I pre-ordered
it. It is weird that they did that, did it that way, considering that the legacy of it, its rebirth was on the Xbox. And like you said, Ninja Gaiden Black, still to this day, one of the hardest games, like, of the modern era. The game is just hard. Like, they ramped up all the difficulty. And then to your point with Ninja Gaiden 2, the 360 version of Ninja Gaiden 2 was the definitive version of that, my opinion. Only reason I say that is because enemy count was higher, difficulty was higher, and obviously the gore and the gruesomeness. Sigma didn't carry a lot of that over. Sigma, even though it was on the PS3, the lowered enemy count, the difficulty was kind of tweaked. All the Sigma games are easier than the originals, and it was kind of a disappointment. Now Ninja Gaiden 2 Black brings a lot of that back, but it's still not quite 100% there where the 360 one was, which is crazy to think. You know, it's just like, you know, you could easily recreate that now with the systems now, but for whatever reason, it's like they stopped just short of like, okay, we're going to do a full remaster because it looks amazing. It plays great and everything, but there's just a little bit less difficulty on it just because, you know.
So what you're telling me is at the moment, because I haven't received it and I don't know when it's coming out.
March.
Oh, so it's going to be soon. But should I still just play? Because the Ninja Gaiden 2 is backwards compatible with the Series X, and it runs better. Oh yeah, on that one. I already have it installed. I just haven't played it.
If you want the best, in a sense, when I say version, of the best like experience, play the original 2 on new hardware. That's honestly the better way to approach it. Now, excuse me. 2 Black does have enhanced visuals, and also the cutscenes are actually slightly different. Like they enhance the models on the cutscenes. That's different. Okay. But as far as the gameplay experience and like the difficulty and the way it originally was, the original 2 on modern hardware is the best way to go.
That's good. That's good. Speaking of another remaster that's coming, Onimusha 2. I know they remake. No, they didn't remake. I don't even know if that's a remaster. For PlayStation 4, they came over with the original Onimusha. And I think they fixed all the graphics, but I don't think they changed any of the game. They didn't do the Resident Evil, what they should have done. And I don't even think this one is going to be either.
It probably isn't. And that's kind of what gets on my nerves, because it's like, bro, it's like Capcom. Y'all did great on the Resident Evil remakes, the remasters and reimaginings or whatever you want to call them. Onimusha deserves a whole remaster. I understand that actor that played the main character has passed away. So I'm not saying to try to, please don't AI his voice or do none of that crazy stuff. Just redo it. But I'm sorry, you're going to have to get a different person. But Onimusha was a masterpiece of a game when it came out. So I would love to see, you know, I didn't play the second one as much. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I own it. Yep. Like most of the time, but it's like the first one was just so good. When I played the second one, it was kind of like, it's more okay. The same. Yeah. No, it was just okay because they added more people.
It's like Devil May Cry 2.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't. Thankfully, it wasn't quite as bad as Devil May Cry 2, but it wasn't. It was like that thing of like when you first played the first Devil May Cry. It was like, wow, great experience. This game is awesome. I'm looking forward to more. And then you put it in, and you was like, part 2 was just bad. That's how I felt with Onimusha 2. It wasn't that it was terrible. It was just it didn't get me as hyped as the first one did.
Didn't hit those expectations.
Yeah.
Let's see here. There's another Onimusha, the Way of the Sword, and I don't know what that is. I didn't look at that one at all, and that's not the subtitle for Onimusha 2. So this might be something completely. This says it's a official protagonist trailer. You know, I'll look at that later. Yeah. I don't know what Metal Eden is. Maybe I'll look at that later. Hell is Us. It's just nothing is like the remastered Days Gone, which I don't even. Why is Sony
Days Gone came out on the PS4? Didn't
exactly, and it's not that long. It's like at least 2-3 years ago.
It doesn't need a remaster.
Yeah, I don't. Wow. That is very confusing to me. Something called Mind's Eye. I might look at that. What is it, Sorrows?
One thing I would want to see more of, and they who knows, maybe they had something for it at State of Play rather, would be that Wolverine game.
They didn't show that at all.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what the heck is going on. They should have showed that. I mean, they're showing a lot of stuff that look like Dave the Diver. That looks like an indie game. I bought it recently. Haven't played it. Motto of my life. But they're doing a crossover with Yakuza or Like a Dragon.
Wow.
That right there is surprising, but it's still not, you know, what you call it now. It's February. Sony does their thing. April is when Nintendo apparently is supposed to be doing theirs. Yeah. And that's when the Switch 2 is coming out. You think that they would have dropped some heavy games would get people's minds off the Switch 2, but it doesn't, to me, it doesn't really look like they did in it. Yeah. There's some good looking games that look like they're gonna be good.
I have a feeling all of their stuff that's gonna hit is probably gonna hit mid to late summer starting off. Because if Grand Theft Auto 6 is supposed to, and again, that's on all systems. It's not like that's an exclusive or anything. But Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to smooth some systems on all sides for people.
Oh.
If they don't necessarily get for PC, it's going to move systems. That's a game that people will buy a system to play.
Two things. First off, I hear that they're going to concentrate on console first and then come out on PC later. I don't know if that was true or not, which I find it really hard that they would do something like that, but it's probably because PC gamers, they're not like console gamers. They're not like us. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but a lot of you guys out there like to tinker and hack and mess with the game where they don't want to do that because, like, every time I go on TikTok, YouTube, whatever, Red Dead Redemption is still popping up, but there's always some kind of hack. People driving cars in Red Dead Redemption. And, like, they're probably just trying to avoid people doing stuff like that because on console that's not going to happen. It just, you can do it. It takes a lot longer and it's usually done after, you know, a few years of the game coming out. But I hear that they're trying to do that and that it's going to get a Switch 2 release. Now, I want to know how that's going to happen, but they said that the Switch 2 is supposed to be as powerful as a PlayStation 4 Pro, which is probably just under base PlayStation 5.
Right.
Which means it might be able to do it with a little nip tuck here and there.
But what's the internal memory on the Switch, though?
You mean RAM?
No. Like, because you got to remember, like
you're talking about the actual like storage.
Yeah, the storage.
I don't know.
Because that's going to be tricky because obviously the Switch 2, we know it's not going to be disc-based. It's not because that's going away for a lot of things. Those cartridges, you can get a good amount on one of those, but we know Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be more than 100 gigs as a download. We know it is going to be because I think the last one, once it was all said and done, was probably close to 80 to 90 gigs.
Jeez.
So you know the new one is going to be a huge download right off the bat. I just know it is.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a huge game. At the moment, it's probably just a rumor. But if it's not a rumor and it does that, that's going to be very impressive.
And again, I'm not saying that it can't. I'm just wondering how they're going to do it.
How they're going to do it? It's probably going to be like half download, half on a card or something like that. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
Marcus says that the Wolverine game is starting to become an urban legend at this point, and it's definitely sounding like that because, like, did we even get a trailer yet? I know they got that one part in the bar, but that's nothing.
That's pretty much it. I think some people hacked their servers and got some footage of gameplay and then released it, but then the company, got a cease and desist or takedown or whatever. So it's almost like, I don't know. It's just weird that like that game is something that people have been excited about, but then you haven't heard anything about it in literally months. And you would have figured with all the hype around Deadpool and Wolverine, they would have dropped something. Especially just to leech off of that hype.
I would have think they would have done something like that. I don't quite get it. But one of the last games I guess we could talk about before we get into this main topic, speaking of Sega again, the Shinobi game. No, we already talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, we talked about Shinobi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, where was I? Again, I'm having those time skips again, people. I don't know what's going on. You guys are going to have to...
You're over there pulling the Loki and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm like, it's going... WWE... Oh, no, we can talk about that because apparently there is a WE 2K25.
Okay.
And it says the official Island reveal trailer. Now, I don't know what the heck that's supposed to be, but I do know that our buddy Ken Sherrill mentioned something in our chat about... It says their own city equivalent, like an NBA 2K. I guess that's the only thing because nothing besides Simon. I don't think you and I play NBA 2K.
Yeah, I don't play NBA 2K. I do play a lot of the WWE games.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to get this new one and the standard for those games, or at least they're kind of. Here's what the game and here's what we've improved is usually the entrances for the wrestlers. Some of the entrances I've seen for that game so far are photorealistic. It's ridiculous how good they look.
Did they get the hair yet?
Pretty much. I was shocked. The hair actually looks a lot better than it's ever looked. Now, granted, it's not perfect. I don't think it ever will be. But
it can be.
It definitely can be. But like I think, like let's see. I've seen obviously Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and I think Drew McIntyre's intro. I need to watch like maybe Rhea Ripley's intro or something, or somebody that has probably like Tiffany Stratton would probably be one. Somebody that has long hair to like really get obviously Roman Reigns does too, but his intro is so subdued, especially the Tribal Chief intro because he's just basically slow walking like Undertaker. But I need to watch like one of the female wrestlers intros just to kind of see how the hair looks. But just like I said, from the little bit that I did see, it was like that's impressive. Like they really, really went above and beyond. So I'm gonna obviously pick that up at some point because those wrestling games, just like any sports games, they come out high price and then they drop like a rock a month later.
Yeah, especially those. I don't think I've ever gotten to a wrestling game. Like I remember playing, was it WrestleMania on the NES?
Okay.
And then I think I played a little bit of the Nintendo 64. I forget which one it was. At Simon's house, we were either playing the WCW one or I can't remember which one it is because they were like the same game with two different. And I wanted to get that I'm gonna call it the Blitz of wrestling because it came out like 360 and PlayStation 3.
Oh, Superstars?
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it was like they weren't super deformed, but they were like almost kind of anime beefy looking. Yeah, those WWE Superstars.
Yeah, and I like that one in the arcade. WrestleFest, I think it was.
Yeah, WrestleFest was
But for whatever reason, like the newer ones, I don't know what it is. It's just like
they're too much like simulators.
Yeah, because like to me, it's just like I'm just gonna watch wrestling. I don't know. I like when it comes to wrestling, I like to be able to do the high flying stuff. I like being able to do the stuff they will not do in the WWE anymore because like it's too dangerous. It's a video game. You should be able to do that stuff.
Yep.
Even if it's not in that wrestler's repertoire or something like that. Like, could you ever do Brock Lesnar moonsault? I know he did it.
He did it
twice.
For real.
That I've seen him do it, and he screwed up once.
Yeah.
But like in the game, like.
I mean, I'm sure you could assign it to the wrestler or to him. I don't know. It's one of those things where arcadey. That's part of the reason I did like you mentioned NFL Blitz. That's why I liked NFL Blitz because it was like, yeah, it's football, but it's football to the extreme. It's like it's more fun to me for something like an NFL Blitz or an NBA Jam, or like you said, the WCW Nitro and all the different stuff, the N64 stuff. It was just fun. It was more fun. These games now is too much trying to be like a simulator of, you got the the fatigue and work the different body parts and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I get it, but as far as this pick up and play, a lot of the games haven't been that.
You know what I wish they could do? Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But like, and this is going to be sounding far-fetched, and I don't think that any computer motion capture, because first off, I think they're still stuck in a way where you got to have the balls for motion capture. But I think it would be kind of cool if you could watch Raw through the WWE, 2K25 or whatever. And what I mean by that is like you set up the thing and like the characters are all animated from like your PlayStation or whatever, but they're doing exactly what Raw is what's happening in Raw. And it may not have to necessarily be like one-to-one real time. Maybe have like, a 5-minute, 10-minute buffer. Who cares? But you're literally watching it that way. I think that'd be kind of cool. Useless, but I think it'd be kind of cool.
Could be done.
Yeah.
Motion capture is actually improved.
You don't need the balls no more?
They do, but they're smaller.
Huh.
They're like, for example, if you look at a lot of the behind the scenes on games and CG animation for movies and stuff like that, the dots are like little. They're like little. They're smaller than like a marble. Like,
oh wow!
I'm trying to think.
Itty bitty.
But
micro.
But it's because they put more of them on, like for example, on your face or whatever to capture like accurate facial mapping and all that other sort of thing. So they're very small. They're like the size of a pea, I guess, is probably the best way to describe it. But I don't know. It's interesting how far the wrestling games have come. Like you said, all the back from the NES, and what was that one? Was it 3 count or tag team wrestling or something like that? There was a couple of different ones that was even in the arcade that were just like super simplistic, but they were fun as hell. So I mean, like that's all that really matters is that the game is fun.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears to our main topic for right now, at least for as long as it will hold our interest. Beau DeMayo is back in the headlines a little bit. He released a 30-minute, I think it's about 30-minute video on YouTube a couple days ago, explaining his side of what happened on the X-Men 97 and Marvel releasing him. The issue I have with it, and it's a it's an in-depth video. Problem is he's under NDAs, so it's like
They gonna sue his ass off.
well, no, it's not even so much that. There's a lot that he can't talk about. So it's like you release this long video, but there's so many like basically parts that you have to leave out. So it's like I understand you want to tell your side, but if you can't tell your whole side, how are we supposed to like?
I thought he already told his side.
And that's
when
that's
it
the other
happened,
thing.
I thought he already said blah 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 this, blah 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 that. It's like, dude, I mean, personally, I don't agree with somebody what they do in their private life, because even it's behind a paywall. If it's behind a paywall, it has nothing to do with anybody unless you're searching for that. You have to search for it. You have to give the man money in order to be behind a paywall. I don't know what he was doing behind that paywall. But even with saying that, it just, to me, it feels like it was a useless fire. Just refresh the memories of us and those out there. What the heck supposedly that he did?
All right, supposedly. Now, again, there's been no official word. This is, for lack of a better word, this is all hearsay on all sides. He had some inappropriate artwork and inappropriate photos or whatever the heck it was that was linked to his OnlyFans account that was somehow shown in the office. Now, there is, you're 100% right. It's behind a paywall. If somebody pulled it from behind that paywall to show it at the office, that's not cool. Like, that shouldn't have happened. It's like, you're behind this paywall. This is where it's like, look, it's for people that are into whatever that is. They paid their money to see it or be involved in it or whatever. That's one thing. Somehow it got shown at the office or it brought into the office or whatever.
That's a big no-no.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, because of the NDAs, we don't know exactly what really went down. So it's like, it's almost like the thing that happened with CM Punk in AEW, where it's just like there was a backstage fight, but none of them could talk about it. So it's like you can't really clear the air because you're all legally bound to not talk about it.
I wonder for how long, because people are going to be pressing this issue until it's all out there, and then everybody then is going to be able to form their opinion. Because first off, people seem to always form an opinion when somebody gets fired. Oh, you got fired? You're obviously wrong. Yeah. It's like, man, not necessarily. These big corporations is trying to keep a clean look. He worked for Disney, which, under the Marvel umbrella, which Disney has this idea that everything that Disney is for kids, and Marvel, everything that they do for kids, just because, they associate. And I don't understand how people who call themselves adults still do things like this, because they used to be kids, and they know for a fact that the ones who work in the industry that read these comic books and went to see a lot of movies. Now, yeah, a lot of stuff at Disney branded is for kids, but there are other stuff that Disney is not. They wouldn't be as big as they did if they just did kids movies.
No,
they wouldn't. They're huge because they cater to more than just kids. But even with saying that, just going back to just Marvel, they're not just done for kids. But regardless of that, what he was apparently doing, well, that's supposedly just for adults. But from what I did hear, that a inappropriate thing may not have been a actual picture. From my understanding, they said a fan drew and this was on the internet, a picture of him of like a sexy Cyclops.
Okay.
And supposedly that's what was shown around the office. I don't know if he showed it, or it's like, oh, look what this fan, or it was mailed to the office, or who knows. Right. I guess we'll never find that out.
And the thing is, and like you said, that's the main problem. We don't know 100% what actually went down. We probably won't find out what went down. I think the only thing that you have to be careful of, and he mentions this in the video, he says as a black man, obviously there's the things are stacked against him. We know this. That's always been the thing. But he's also saying as a gay black man, even more obstacles are put into his place. When you are in that position and you know that, that's where you have to be, in my opinion, even more careful. Especially if you're put in a high position, because people are going to be gunning for you.
Yeah, you definitely should kind of hate using cliches, and cliches easy, as they say, cross T's and dot I's. because like like you said, people are gonna be trying to look into your personal affairs to try to take you off because like you never know. Oh, I wanted to be showrunner, so
Right.
I'm gonna slip this to such and such to get you fired.
Right.
You never know who and what would do some stuff like that because people out there just it's better for them. But like if you play that game, that means that something like that could happen to you. But a lot of people don't look at it that way. So I mean, I personally can't say his situation. I mean, it sucks for him, most definitely.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be fine when people forget about all this stuff because he'll get hired at DC or something because Disney throws him away. And then, because they did that with James Gunn. I mean, they jumped the gun, pun intended.
Absolutely.
They jumped the gun, and that guy said, you know what, I'm going to go and do this over. And DC said, you know what, here's the keys to the castle, another cliche. And he's apparently running away with it, and we'll see if he runs away even more when it comes to the Superman that's coming up, because Creature Commandos is interesting. I haven't finished it yet because I'm watching it slowly. But he could just be in that other situation where he just moves on to the next spot to do something, or even down the line coming back to Marvel, because like I don't know, the older I get, the more I'm understanding that things don't make sense, and you can't seem to make sense of anything that makes sense, and specifically when people don't really communicate, because you're getting one side of the story, and Disney's never going to say what the heck he did. Or maybe they did. I don't know, because I haven't really been paying attention.
The thing is, they probably put out a statement. The issue you always run into with a major corporation, especially one that's been around as long as Disney, they are always going to do whatever it takes to cover their ass. They are going because they're a global corporation, so they're looking at it in the sense of that's part of the reason. What's my man's name that played Kang?
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors got canned so quickly, and the rumors are that he's going to be coming back. But you see, the very first thing was damage control. Right off the bat, when that even got announced, they weren't waiting for no true verdicts or none of that, because it was like, we cannot, in good conscience to all of our global interests and money and all of it, whatever, have him be the front-running villain for our whole series of movies that are coming. Now, it's unfair to him, absolutely, because it's basically judging him before anything actually went down in the courts. But from we got a bunch of money tied up into this, I get where they're coming from.
See, and that's the thing that I would like to understand. Okay, you're a multi-billion, probably close to $1 trillion company. Would that ever affect anything? Could they have not spun this like how wrestling does it? Like, granted, real life, what you call it, but could they have not, like, oh, he's a villain in the movie, and I don't know. I
think because it was domestic violence. That's one that you can't really play with that one.
But what would it have really done? Would people have sold their Disney stock? Would people have said, "Oh, I'm not going to Disney World"? Would people have stopped buying? Like, I really would have liked to have understood what would have happened if they waited till they actually got the verdict, or did they? I don't remember if they did or not. Or B, did nothing. Says, you know what? This is something that's going on in his personal life. He has a job, and when he's doing his job, this is what we focus on, him doing his job.
I get you, but here's the thing. Look at the other person that they dropped quick. It was Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp didn't even do nothing, supposedly. Right, but remember, he was in Pirates. And Pirates, before Marvel, was their huge moneymaker. And they were like, sorry, you got to go. And the worst part is, like you said, he didn't do anything.
It's basically a spectacle.
But I think it was the whole domestic dispute problem. And I think and again, for a company, especially as big as they are, that's a scary thing to have your name thrown in there with that.
And that's the thing, is what I don't understand is why is their name being thrown in because they made some movies for a company. That's the part that I like to understand.
I think at the time he was in talks to do another movie for them, another Pirates movie. So it's like, and again, it's guilt by association, and it's definitely not fair at all. But at the same time, companies got to protect their shareholders and all their assets and all the other stuff.
That's what I mean. Problem. That's what I want to understand. Because Marcus says that Disney hasn't learned their lesson, how they deal with Johnny Depp and jumped the gun way too fast with him. And it's like, yeah, that's what we were saying. But that's what I mean. It's like the shareholders, like, okay, are they they're gonna sell your Disney stock?
Some
It's
people do, because don't forget, people like got into a panic when DeSantis started coming after Disney in Florida because
Really, they started selling their stock.
I don't
then?
know if there was a bunch of people dumping stock, but it does happen. You got to remember, the very first line of thought for them is these people that are invested in us and will continue to invest in us are the most important people in the world.
See, but that's okay. Look, there's some evil ass corporations out there.
Absolutely.
Corporations, not individuals that work for the corporation, which they more than likely have as well, but people. And when I use corporations, they're a group of people that make up this business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have colluded on things. They have done some really terrible shit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it might have been under closed doors, but the shareholders, when they got word of them, didn't do anything. I mean, look who's in the office right now. And
no, absolutely.
Nobody seems to, and I'm generalizing again, but there's not enough of people who freaking gave a shit about what that specific person did. And like, I would look at it, if you're trying to compare apples to apples, you got two people, they've both been in movies, so you can call them actors.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was his main job, the other one's a hack. One person did do something that was already proven, and the other one was working through it before they even, and one got dropped, and the other one is taking orders from Elon Musk. But
yeah. I mean, it again. I'm not them, so
Yeah.
I think what it is they've been around so long, and their image, their public image, is like kind of their currency, and it has been for a very long time. They're one company that literally they try to seem to be above board as much as possible. Now, granted, they don't always succeed, but when it comes down to, if you look, let's say for example, you took an Amazon and a Disney. Amazon don't care. They've been accused of treating workers terrible and all of the stuff.
Yep.
But they don't care because they're one of the biggest, mail order, whatever you want to call it, companies in the world, and they don't care. Disney's whole reputation is family-friendly entertainment. Remember, Pulp Fiction is a Disney movie, but most people don't know that because it was released
or Touchstone
under Miramax.
It's Miramax. Yeah.
Like most of their quote-unquote dirty stuff was
back then.
Back then, and so far removed from the Disney, parent company proper, as far as most people know. So it's like, yeah, they make money wherever they're gonna make money. They always do. But I think their image has always been the squeaky clean, family-friendly company, regardless of what we know.
Yeah. I mean, I see your point, but it's just I just start to really, really wonder. Like, I want to know. And we'll never find out because no corporation, when something big comes out, they always try to sweep it under the rug or distance themselves from it. But I really would like to have not, and of course we can't because we don't. If they did nothing, like we're not doing anything, he's going to be our actor for these where people are like, well, I'm not going to see his movie. He was convicted guilty, or would they just waited because like if say they threw it out of court. And then what would have happened? Because
it's hard to say because don't forget they let Gina Carano go over some tweets.
Yeah.
Now, granted, her tweets were a little ridiculous,
which is another thing that I find is odd because, like, I don't know, man. The state of so much stuff is that everybody should have their opinion, but not everybody needs to share their opinion. Type world that we live in. It feels like. She obviously had to have done more than just those tweets because to get fired, I mean, basically because.
Well, no, it was okay with her situation. She said something that was a very poor analogy as far as the COVID situation because obviously we were in COVID at the time. Compared wearing a mask to basically being in the Holocaust. So it's like,
but that's some dumb stuff.
That was just dumb.
Really dumb.
So that was dumb. They were like, Gina, you're representing us. Don't do that again, please.
Yeah.
And she kept doing it.
Well,
so it's like it's like
don't tell me what to do.
Right. So it's like
I do what I want.
It's like you're gone. Like there's no way they're going to because it's like again, it's the image thing. It's you're tied into one of their big at the time, most popular shows. You're representing that show, thus you're representing the company.
See, I guess I get it in that aspect. When you say it that way, you're representing a company. It makes a lot more sense in that aspect because, like, if she is going around saying these things, they're gonna think that if Disney does nothing, that they stand behind that stuff.
Right.
So yeah, okay, 100% understand that in an aspect. And going back to wearing masks, I quite couldn't understand why people don't want to wear masks. I do understand. To me, it's like wearing underwear. It's just a protection for yourself because, like, you know, I'm a farter, man, and sometimes, you know, you got that stopgap between the two just in case, you know, something happens to come out, man. You're not fucking up your jeans or something like that. And it's kind of the same thing with wearing a mask. You wear it to kind of stop the stuff from coming out. But regardless, we don't have to wear masks anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem even if I did because it's just anyway, we don't even need to discuss all that.
And again, and maybe to tie this, to kind of wrap this one up, really, it's, and again, I don't know, neither one of us were there. We don't know what went down or whatever. I just look at it as, okay, you have every right to get your truth out there, whatever it may be. You know, the timing is very interesting because clearly there is a big Marvel movie coming up this weekend, and you suddenly drop this video. So I don't know. That seems a little bit convenient.
He's trying to put the attention on him because, like, Marvel Disney's in the air again. And it says, I mean, maybe, I don't know, dude.
Again, if they did him dirty, you know, more power to you to get your get back. That's fine, you know. But at the same time, without knowing exactly what went down, until I see exactly what went down, I'm not going to really pass judgment one way or the other. No. I'm just going to look at it as a company is always going to do whatever the company can to protect their interests. And if people get caught in a crossfire in some dirty ways, it probably, you know, that happens. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that, you know, that they, you know, he deserved to get fired or whatever, because I don't know exactly what happened. But he's going to have to, if he's going to basically put his truth out there, very much like the Ray Fisher situation. You going to have to give us everything. And
we got to know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like if you're under NDAs, you can't really tell us all the details. You can't name names. You can't be specific. So for me, it's like,
just wait.
Yeah, it's just like I gotta wait. I can't really jump on your side or anybody's side. I'm just gonna, you know, again, because I have no skin in the game anyway. Because I'm, you know, it's not me.
Yeah.
So
most definitely. I mean, for me, it's just, again, because he was representing Disney, just because he's worked there and he's a figurehead because of the position that he had. Then whatever happened, he should have shut that shit down. That should have been the end of it. If something leaked somehow, like, again, if it was just him having his OnlyFans, I think it's bullshit because, again, you have to seek for that stuff.
Right.
It's not like it comes to you. Somebody has to go for it and actually cross that bridge to get behind it. So if it was that, it shouldn't have been an issue. But if things were, you know, being pulled out, if he was putting it out there, if he was doing inappropriate stuff, which is a possibility that he was doing stuff that was inappropriate, you know, because supposedly it might have been a situation where he was, you know, I don't know the word that people say, chatting somebody up that didn't want the attention or something like that.
Yeah.
Then that right there should have been where you draw the line. Like, you know what? Okay, I can't be doing this stuff. But a lot of people don't think that way. So until that NDA, I guess, comes out or goes away and the truth comes out, or somebody who finds out the truth that's not beholden to an NDA tells anything,
puts it all out there.
I guess we'll just be not knowing anything then.
Yeah, that is true. We got a couple minutes left. Tomorrow, the final piece, with the exception of the movie, of Cobra Kai drops.
Oh yeah,
I am definitely looking forward to that. You are all caught up, so now we can actually, without major spoilers, can kind of talk about it a little bit, because I've obviously seen it up till. And I'm glad I waited, because I didn't want to wait from November to February. Oh my gosh, I hate when modern TV does that. That's irritating to me. So real quick, on the what was it, 2 parts of season 6 that you've seen now? Because I guess the third one drops tomorrow. What's your quick thoughts and kind of not review, but what's your thoughts on what they've done with it?
I love the freaking show. I love the character development of everybody. I hate some of the backsliding that they were doing because like it seems like things were being done just to create some kind of animosity between people who you apparently already had things you thought
you squashed the beef.
Yeah, you already thought it was done, but then like things started to pop back up for whatever strange reason. But they still managed to smooth things over. But I have no idea where they're going now because what happened in that last episode, though it was nobody's fault except for the person who it happened to. I mean, except for the Russians, it's all their fault. Had they just like not done what they did, and like, why would you do that? Nah, you're not kicking me out. Like you were just getting banned there. Now it's probably for life. You're never going back. Like, why would you do that? I don't know. You still need it. So okay, good. I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad we didn't say anything. You need to finish the final season, Marcus. I'm aware that you probably have kids. Lock them in a cage and sit down for a day and just watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have any cages, send them to grandma and grandpa's house.
Right.
Or, give them some money and,
no arcades anymore.
Yeah. Have them go to Costco. People like hanging out at Costco. Just have them walk around fucking Costco till it's done.
Walk around Costco for 10 hours.
People do that. You'd be surprised.
Give them some money. They can make a little bit of lunch off of the samples
do something.
and whatnot, right?
I don't know. Just sit down.
That's funny.
You just be busy, man.
Yeah.
I wish I could understand that because my busyness is sitting here in my butt watching stuff. I mean, I guess I could leave the house, but then I'm like, what the hell would I do outside the house that I could do here?
Yeah. Again, I don't know what they're doing tomorrow, but obviously we'll see. But I think I'm actually glad that they're wrapping it up, only in the sense that if they did try to go season 7, what are they gonna do? Because this, like I said, some of the stuff we've seen in this season are like, bro, y'all are pretty much getting close to jumping the shark now. Yeah. It's like y'all gotta. There's nothing else you can do. Again, I'm gonna look forward to seeing the movie that's coming out because I want to see how that.
Which movie?
The Karate Kid movie.
Which one?
The Cobra Kai movie. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, because like I didn't know about that one, but that's gonna be kind of interesting too. Yeah. I really want to know where they're going with that as well.
But well, I want to see why Jackie Chan knows Miyagi for one.
Probably because they were rumbling and tussling with each other. Even though it's weird because you would think that Miyagi would be a heck of a lot
bit older
than Jackie Chan's character, period.
So it'll be interesting to see. Or maybe he's just legendary because of his family's martial art. Because remember, his family did start their own style of martial art. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe it's just something like that. I don't know. But I have enjoyed all seasons of Cobra Kai, though. I will definitely say that. The old characters coming back, the way they work them in. Some of the new characters are actually really intriguing. Like I said, I like Robbie, I like Miguel, I like Tori, I like and Kenny. Like they're just interesting characters, and it's all different versions of the Daniel and Johnny characters, but done as and younger in some form or fashion. Being bullied or anger issues or whatever. So I was like, they did a really good job with the show overall.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I don't know what it is though, but whenever I watch that show, I start feeling anxious because I'm like thinking like, oh my gosh, what they got to do right now where everybody's gonna start butting heads again. I was like, oh, can we get past that now?
Yeah. Hopefully they will, and again, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just end the show with some people will be friends, and then some people will just be kind of like friend rivals or frenemies or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. They've handled a lot of interesting things with it. Having John Kreese in there as a character, and that dude, I don't think he ever gonna have a redemption arc.
Nope.
I think he's going to finish off the show just evil and dirty, and that'll just be that. That's the end for him. So, which is then again, maybe not. Maybe again, we got I don't know how many episodes it is. Given what happened in the last one, I think he felt just a minuscule responsible Just like a very, very minuscule amount responsible.
It was a little bit of his fault because he shouldn't have brought that to, because there was no reason for something like that to even be in there.
Right. So he might.
We'll see.
Because I mean, heck, even before Kreese pulled him back in, Terry Silver had a redemption. Like he actually was out of the game.
He basically turned that knob back and was like, I'm gonna love doing this, screwing people over.
Yep.
But
so,
yep.
We'll see.
We can talk about it next week.
Oh no, absolutely. So we appreciate you all for checking in with us, joining us for tonight's show. We hopefully will be back up to our normal numbers for next week's show. We'll be talking again. I think State of Play is probably going to be talked about a little bit more in depth next week because it'll give us time to maybe see some stuff. And to get some of the other fellas' opinions on it. So, obviously we will be back here once again on Twitch and YouTube next week, streaming live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to check out the unboxing video that's coming out this Friday. The video is actually up if you want to hit the Notify Me tab on our YouTube page. But, it'll be something interesting from in the upcoming Marvel universe. So it'll be a fun unboxing there. And, I think that's about it.
If you like what you see and you're new here, like and subscribe, please.
Absolutely.
It does help out quite a bit.
Right. Like, subscribe, leave some comments, because I guess comments also affect the algorithm too.
Yep.
So beholden to the algorithm. I hate that, but that's just life. That's how things work.
It holds you.
Yep. That's how things work here. So for the producer over there, who's just looking like a serial killer, keep an eye on him. And with the great Dad Kuji, I'm GQ. We'll see you guys next week.